it's not to say that celebrities are not entitled to opinions. Of course they are. And it's not to say that some celebrities are not educated. Some of them are. And some of them are actually informed. And some of them, by the way, are even informed, and I still disagree with them, but I accept those key facts. Taylor Swift is none of those things. And you add on top of that, she's worth enough money to not care about any, or to not be affected by any of the consequences. So Taylor Swift, let's get into this, because it's not just that she's a celebrity who's endorsed Kamala Harris. That's no surprise. No problem with the fact that she's a billionaire. No problem with the fact that she has the worst carbon footprint of any human being on Earth. That's true. We'll get to it.
What?
The issue is that she is a billionaire out of touch with reality who is offering horrible advice to people out there that would create an entire generation of miserable, unfulfilled young women in particular. She is a cautionary tale when you take away the celebrity and the billions of dollars. And look, it's always surprising to me that Disney in these films will say, you know, what matters is family and material possessions don't mean a thing. But then, of course, they are so proud of Taylor Swift. It's like, well, hold on, if what matters most is family and relationships, seems to me like you're simply pointing to the prototype as someone who has more material goods. So here is actually, we have a quote from her. You know what? Let's just hit the stinger and they'll hit the YouTube dump button. It's time for the installment number 2 of What a Piece of Shit. All right. So
number 2.
We have to dump that, really?
Yeah, because YouTube said you can't insult people for immutable characteristics.
Well, didn't they cite this segment and specifically and say,
I think also Don Lemon, because they were like, that one's worse because he's gay.
I was like, well, no.
It's people they like. You know, you can say Steven Crowder is yada yada yada.
Sure.
But you can't say Taylor Swift is. She's an icon, you know.
Yeah. That's what you say about me. You know, it's a good chance it's true.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, can confirm.
Yeah, Swift made. Get me a sweet potato dish.
Cooked to perfection.
Right. 135 degrees internal temperature.
Are you the one that makes his potatoes? Yes, on my knees, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. But that's more of a role. It's more of a role playing.
Yeah, it's more fun.
It's more fun. We are both beneficiaries in that transaction. It's true. So, Swift made her endorsement in an Instagram post. She said, I will be casting my vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. Surprise! I am voting for Kamala Harris because she fights for the rights and causes I believe need a warrior to champion them. I think she's steady-handed and a gifted leader, and I believe we can accomplish so much more in this country if we are led by calm and not chaos. I was heartened, here's the kicker, and impressed by her selection of running mate Tim Walz, who has been standing for LGBTQ plus rights, IVF, and a woman's right to her own body for decades. With love and hope, Taylor Swift, childless cat lady. Okay, so Taylor, we'll start with this before we get. Just go and tell your followers to vote for Kamala Harris. I'm not gay.
See how it feels?
Is that a phantom?
Oh no, it's a homophobic bear!
Watch out!
Yay!
She's gonna be mad.
She had to wipe that. Remember from the memory because they're like, you can't say you'll weaponize gayness.
You can't find the original video. You can only find like a little clips like that of her saying it. I looked.
So look, childless cat lady. Okay. It's funny, and I get that some people are offended, but you know what? There's a point there that's important to be made. So let's go through a few key facts here, and this is why this matters, and hopefully we'll offer some advice that is a little more productive. All the references are available as far as the studies, the data that we will be presenting today. Link in the description. Here's a key fact to start this off. Taylor Swift, and this is not just, it's not to say that celebrities are not entitled to opinions. Of course they are. And it's not to say that some celebrities are not educated. Some of them are. And some of them are actually informed. And some of them, by the way, are even informed, and I still disagree with them, but I accept those key facts. Taylor Swift is none of those things. And you add on top of that, she's worth enough money to not care about any, or to not be affected by any of the consequences of a Kamala Walz presidency, vice presidency, right? And you even see this in the polls. People think Donald Trump will be better in the economy for a reason. Why? They're buying groceries. Yeah. Taylor Swift is not. She's worth over $1 billion, right? And she grew up well off, the criticism that you have against Donald Trump. Both parents were in the financial industry. She's not going to be affected by inflation, by open borders, by skyrocketing crime, despite the fact that Kamala Harris tries to quote the FBI because at least 1/3 of crime statistics are not reported at all, so they tweak those numbers. She's not going to be affected, I know what you think, surprisingly, by taxes in the same way that you will. She probably won't be affected as negatively by wars, for example, because she has no sons who may be drawn into war. Or, she also, the worst thing she has to worry about is when she drops a song about Travis Kelce after they break up.
Oh, come on. Don't say that.
Oh.
People's hearts are breaking right now.
Yes.
I'm a Charger fan. Break up. Let the Chiefs suffer.
And this is the thing, too. Think about that for a second. Childless cat lady.
Yeah.
War. Right? War. This is a key issue. This is what J.D. Vance was saying, that, hey, you are not affected.
Yeah.
You don't have the same investment in the future if you have no children. And that is true. That is true. And this is, by the way, something that a lot of women take for granted. Men go to war often for you. Wars are pretty much fought over land and snatch. That's what it is. That's why it's not right. That's why they took concubines back in the day. Men will go and fight wars for women. That's what, and it's just, and it's honestly, it's dumb. It's kind of dumbfounding to me when you look back throughout history and look at the pictures of the women, like the women back then, as far as how attractive they were. These people were dying for that.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. I mean, there's a lot of.
You ever see those, like, they have those, like, you ever actually read a transcript where people are describing a beautiful woman, like in the 1800s, like, and her skin was so fair and her teeth, and you see a picture, she's like,
She has the teeth of a diseased badger.
they could build a dam.
Well, the painters kind of sucked in that period.
I think Marie Antoinette just had stinky hair. Like, let's relieve you of that. Just chop that thing off.
I'm not dying for you.
Yeah, how attractive was Helen? Yeah,
Helena, yeah, she was probably a 6.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, screw it. Let's go. Let's
Not
cross
going
the
to be
sea.
martyred for a sex.
I'm going home.
I think they killed Joan of Arc not because they found out she was a woman, but like she was just ugly.
Yeah, 'cause she was built like a boat. That's why she was named Ark.
Yeah, like she was shooting arrows at us. We should
More
I
like
don't know.
Joan of Bark.
Yeah. Woof. You think we should kill old? Think we should burn old Boatface alive over there?
Some people think that the witch trials were just ugly bitches being burned.
Clearing house.
Yeah, we don't want you.
You were casting a spell to make our town significantly less attractive.
It was you.
So,
Well,
anyway, we've made our point there. Here's another fact that is important with Taylor Swift, and this is why she's such a piece of shit. She only offers advice that will be harmful to people to justify her own life's decisions. Now, of course, you have the right to make those decisions. And there are always exceptions to the rule, to be clear. Yep, there are some unmarried women who have cats, who are successful, that is not lost on me. But that is not the majority of people out there. It's like an alcoholic who says, it's all right to have a drink every now and then, at every meal. You're like, oh, I don't know. It feels like you're saying that because you want to make it okay for you to do that.
Right. You're justifying your own behavior.
Justifying that Irish whiskey.
Yes.
Breakfast.
And Taylor Swift is single by choice. I believe this woman has a compulsion. She will only date exclusively current A-list actors. The reason she is single is not because, love has evaded her. No, it's because, again, she is the caution of chasing the wrong thing. Fame, material goods, right? Instead of meaningful relationships. And you know this is true. And this advice doesn't apply to Americans across the board. Do you think that a 34-year-old American, Taylor Swift's age out there right now, is going to do better, if she basically is living out her equivalent of Taylor Swift? They won't be A-list stars, but simply trying to bag the hottest guy in the bar at night for social clout, or finding a man who loves her, settling, having children who are thrilled to see her come home or stay at home. The statistics reflect one reality. So a lot of people go, I can be Taylor Swift, but you're not a billionaire who gets to date exclusively. Let me go through the list. Taylor Lautner, John Mayer, Jake Gyllenhaal, Tom Hiddleston, Joe Jonas, Harry Styles, RFK Jr.'s son, Connor Kennedy.
What?
Which was kind of surprising.
That's like the only non-A-list celebrity there.
Well, she needed him for backup on her album.
Who is dad? RFK Jr.?
Trouble!
Let me clear my throat.
I got teardrops in my guitar.
Oh, man. Shake it off.
Shake it off.
I want to shake that.
Bad blood.
So she's encouraging young women to adopt a lifestyle that will lead to, statistically, and it's the same issue with the transgender, the LGBTQAIP, which she uses unironically. The suicide rate doesn't get better if you transition.
Right.
Okay? It's still around a 40-something percent attempted suicide rate. American slaves don't have that kind of a suicide rate. Jews in the Holocaust don't have that kind of a suicide rate. But we're to believe that it's because temporarily they couldn't take a dump in the right bathroom at a Target. Okay. The point is,
she.
Yes. The point is, you are encouraging, and I don't mean bad behavior. Okay. I'm not just making a judgment that I think it's better to have family, that I think it's better or more fulfilling to have children. Or to have a meaningful social circle as opposed to acquaintances in industry. That's not me making statistically, that is true. Younger people who do the exact opposite of what Taylor Swift does will be happier. Okay? Childless cat lady. Unmarried women, they are, by the way, the left's most loyal voting bloc, to be clear. There's a stark contrast between married women and unmarried women. And here's a reality. Married people with children are much happier. Overall, married people 30% happier than unmarried people. Percent of women in the age bracket of 18 to 55 who say they are very happy with children, 40%. Without children, 22%. Loneliness is the leading cause of depression among middle-aged females. We know that there's often more SSRI use, psychotropic drug use with middle-aged women. Right? And if you want to talk about, hey, you're not a billionaire, married women are more successful economically. It's one of the greatest indicators as to not only building wealth, but stability, happiness, health metrics. So if she says be a childless cat lady, look, we can't, for example, I can't say on YouTube that, the occasional celebratory cigar is okay because that could be harmful. In the UK, they are now actually throttling fitness videos. You guys can bring that up, Mission Control. They're throttling fitness videos because they think it may cause harm to self-esteem through people having a negative self-body image. But you can champion the cause to millions of young women across the country. Hey, do all of the things that will make you less happy. And we just turn a blind eye as though we don't recognize, everything she's saying are shallow things.
Yeah, and she's encouraging this loneliness. But here's the thing is, like you said, she is a billionaire and stuff like that. You could fall back on your money. But the biggest thing is she has so many people that love her.
Right.
Literally love her. Mm-hmm. You're not her.
Right. Yeah.
You can't just go, I'm sad because I don't have anybody or anything. Let me just go to my adoring fans.
Right.
And remind myself that I'm loved. You can't do that because you're at home.
Well, but I guarantee you also that that's not enough, right? So what Taylor Swift is doing, she's going to have that moment, probably has that moment often where you look around, kind of like Tom Brady said after winning Super Bowls, being named the MVP, just all the money, all the fame in the world. I think he was married to Giselle at the time, like supermodel wife, and he's like, there's got to be more to life than this. That's where she is going, and she's probably had moments where she's there, but she's giving people advice to say, hey, the most fulfilling thing that you can possibly do in life, women, is have a family, right? It is. There's a ton of other things that are fulfilling. So don't get me wrong saying that that's the only thing.
And by the way, of course, some women can't conceive, and I understand that.
Yeah.
And
that's
what's going to happen, though?
Can we be adults here? I understand there are exceptions to the rule, but the truth is, most of you are not billionaire boss bitches. Crazy cat ladies are sad for a reason. Look, let's do it. Let me make 2 points here, okay, before we get on to the climate hypocrisy. She is the single biggest carbon emitter of any human being on Earth, 3 years running, that's true. But first off, the policy, right? The left is encouraging this as a matter of policy, childless cat lady, okay? So if J.D. Vance says, hey, I think it's better for our country to strengthen families, a nuclear family, because that's the bedrock, the building blocks of our communities before state and federal government, local government, before that you have the family, right? That would mean that the party would want to encourage that kind of a culture. If you have a party saying childless cat ladies are boss bitches, that would mean they want to encourage that as part of a culture. I've said this before. If the Republicans are the party of the rich, which we know is not true, but again, you don't win it with just the billionaire votes, right? That gives you like 5. That would mean that you would need a significant portion of Americans to be wealthy enough to vote Republican. If the Democrats are the party of the poor, and by that we mean people who don't pay federal taxes, we don't mean middle class, we mean poor, we mean non-contributors, then they need you to stay poor. Otherwise, if they bring you into success, they've now brought you out of their voting block. It's the same thing here. Even if you don't like what J.D. Vance has said, he is saying, yeah, I would like to, if I could, encourage this kind of a lifestyle because I believe that it is better for America and for individuals. Of course, they should make their own decisions. Democrats are saying you will be just as happy as a childless cat lady at 35 as you would if you had a family and meaningful relationships. No, here's another point that, well, Gerald, you were about to say something.
No, I just think it's terrible to give that kind of advice to people because you and I both know, like, when you have kids, life changes.
Yes.
Right? Your perspective on the world changes. Your fulfillment, the joy in your life, the difficulty in your life, like, it makes you a less selfish person. For society, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And I understand maybe, you know, the pendulum swings. My parents got married when they were 15 and 16 years old, respectively.
Probably too young.
And probably a little bit young, but back then they were so much more mature, right? You talk about that. My sister, I think, got married at 18. So in my generation, they got married earlier. The pendulum swung way too far the other way.
Yes.
People are being told that there's happiness down there, and it's not true. Yes, you want to wait a little while, that's fine.
Yeah.
But you want to wait until your 30s or 40s because you think you can go pursue all these other things in life? That's not fine.
Well, let's go through the most extreme examples to make a point, okay? People like Taylor Swift to talk about the patriarchy. All right. So let's say that you're a young woman and you did it the patriarchy's way at one point in time. And let's just go back to, you know, what many people view as an era in the United States that had a lot of good. I get it. People are still racist, but like the 50s, okay? This is when the American dream kind of came to be post-World War II. So you're a woman, and you go to school, but you pick something like nursing or teaching, or you become a secretary, a job that offers you flexibility so that you can spend more time with your children, where they're happy to, or you stay at home, and you have one earner in the household or one primary provider in the household, and it's a nuclear relationship, a traditional American family. Statistically, we know how that would look as far as happiness. Okay, you do it that way. That's the patriarchy's way, right? We don't want to do it that way. Do it the way that the left today has encouraged you to do it, as far as being a strong, independent woman. Go and get a degree in liberal arts, gender studies, creative arts. Riddle yourself with debt. Hopefully the government will absolve you of it to become a social worker or a 9-to-5 worker until you're in your 30s, past your biological window, and instead of children, you get cats. If the patriarchy is so evil, some of you may be saying, bring a little bit of that evil over here. You do have to look at the results. Yeah. And let's go, speaking of results, let's go to another key fact here. And this is a big reason as to why T. Swift is a piece of shit. She is not just a climate hypocrite, to be clear on climate change. I understand we all emit carbon, right? We all do. I get it. She has made decisions to engage in more carbon-emitting activities when she does not have to. She's worth over $1 billion.
Yeah.
At what point, and this is always my question, at what point does it cross over into greed in the Disney film? Like, hey, if you could be worth $900 million and not be the biggest carbon emitter as an individual human being on Earth, would that be okay? What point does it cross over into greed?
Nah, I got to get my latte from the original Starbucks.
Right.
On Pike in Seattle.
2022, 2023, and she's on track for this in 2024. She is the person with the single largest carbon footprint of anybody on Earth. That's not, hey, you say climate change, but you drive an SUV because you have a big family. No, that's, she has 2 private jets. She's riding them like skis. This is what we're talking about. There's no need to. Exactly. Let me show you, and I know some of you, by the way, for that
was a dance move, by the way.
Yes, it was.
She's not good at it.
That little graph that said this was the the most radical right, least factually based show. Do you see that out there? Like, we're the only show that provides references.
Oh, yeah.
They put us to the right.
Because we showed that, they go, Taylor Swift never rode 2 jets.
She didn't. We fact-checked it, and we actually sent out an intern to see if this was physically possible. He's dead.
But he tried.
They tried in Afghanistan.
But here's
I thought that was
here's
hilarious.
the real reference. This is actually how Swift's 2 private jets covered over 178,000 miles in 2023 alone. This is real.
Okay, it's not bad.
Oh my God!
Whoa! Looks like my kid's drawing.
Yes. What is? looks like the back of a 4-year-old's placemat. She went over, I couldn't see, it was so fast. Did she go over to Asia for one show?
Yes.
No, she went over for multiple. Here's the thing she did.
No, she went over, came back, and then went back.
Yes.
It's like group them together.
Because she wanted to watch her boyfriend in the Super
right,
Bowl.
the Super Bowl.
Like you could have just not done that. One show. You couldn't say the fans have to see me.
Yeah. You're rich enough, you could literally have a hologram placed in a box like Obi-Wan Kenobi so that they could see you there and feel but you don't have to travel on a private jet.
Mostly lip syncing anyway. Just get a body double.
Also, if you watch that graph, you'll notice that even she was like, I'm not going to San Francisco.
No.
Not even. No, I know they're rich. No. I'm not doing a show there.
So for comparison, the average American emits 13.7 tons of CO2. Taylor Swift, 8,000 tons. That's 583 times more than you.
Jeez.
But hey, but the world needs Taylor Swift.
Yes.
And again, I don't care. I don't care if I couldn't care less if she had 19 private jets and she was dumping every bottle of Crisco that she could find in the Gulf. The shrimp will be fine. They're fine now. It was overblown.
If Jesus Christ was here right now, traveling the world, doing miracles and helping people, leftists would be mad at him for that carbon footprint. They'd be like, come on, take it easy.
It's like,
but I raised a dead guy.
Could you fly first class? Could you jet share? For crying out loud, half the biggest bands in the world flew commercial because, at that point, they didn't want to get Buddy Holly.
That's true. Not the problem anymore. I understand that.
And here's something else. You can emit much less carbon in the digital age as an artist. That's true. Except Taylor Swift has decided to go all in on producing more giant vinyl records than anyone in modern American history. She sold 5.2 million LPs in 2022 and 23 alone. To give you an idea, one vinyl LP creates about 2.5 pounds of CO2. That means if you just add those physical LPs together, you have 6,000 additional tons of CO2 in the United States in only 2 years. That's 438 times the average American's carbon emissions in 2 years. You couldn't just make it a download. How many hipsters with Cranky Kong record players are out there?
At least 5 million.
Well, and by the way, and she's even worse. It's like, I want them to have a physical CD. Okay, so you don't really care about the turtles choking on straws. All right, let's go with that. And I also want to make 19 different versions of the same album physically as a record and a CD so that it becomes a collector's item. She had 35 separate physical products as far as just the album Midnights. Sorry, Midnights. She had
Seriously?
There's a different version and this version and that version, and I'm sure there's some kind of figurine. You can get a CD, you can get a record. I'm sure because the hipsters want to have can I watch the video on beta? You know, that kind of thing. Like, you could just make it available online like every other artist who's not a billionaire. You don't need 2 private jets. I don't care if you have them. Make your own decisions. You don't need to emit over 500 times the amount of carbon that the average American does, and you certainly don't need to do so while lecturing them on the decisions they make that, by the way, lead to happier, more fulfilling lives while acting like they are rubes. The rubes who buy your albums.
No, she needs to squeeze her fans. You know, like a lime in a Mexican restaurant.
Right. At what point does it become greed? Hey, if you didn't have to sell the records, if you just made downloads, at that point, hey, God willing, the places that provide power to people who use the internet maybe use nuclear energy where there are 0 carbon emissions. If that puts you in the 900 million category, you got to be in the Tres Camas Club? Is that what matters most?
Yeah.
Is that what matters most? Hey, if you could fly on a jet share and maybe just have a touring schedule that might be comparable to other artists, and maybe you only are worth 600 million. When does it cross over into greed? It only crosses over into greed if you are the American business owner, because guess what?
Yeah.
If you have a business where you have $1 million in gross tax revenue, Uncle Sam is coming for you. She can offshore her shit, and you know it's true. And that's why she is an absolute piece. She is a piece of shit, but but
oh my gosh, that didn't seem like a solid piece.
That was a bill letting out some carbon.
And then here's the thing: after the Taylor Swift fiasco, the media decided to run to other people, Patrick Mahomes and Caitlin Clark. Mm-hmm. Right?
Do you know who these people are?
I know who Caitlin Clark is. She's the white basketball player.
You don't know who Patrick Mahomes is?
I know Usher
in football uniform.
I know Usher. So they were asking celebrities.
Is that interesting because he's black?
About their politics. I know him because he says, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
instead, they got the answer that would be more appropriate. And by the way, if someone answers like this, it means they're probably right-leaning because there would be no reason to keep it quiet otherwise. There's an incentive to be liberal openly. Here are the answers that, maybe don't alienate half the country.
Former President Trump referenced you and your family again today on Fox News in relation to his campaign. I just wonder what your reaction is to seeing that.
Yeah, I think I've always said I don't want my place and my platform to be used to endorse a candidate or do whatever. Either way, I think my place is to inform people to get registered to vote. It's to inform people to do their own research and then make their best decision for them and their family.
If you are in fact potentially going to endorse Kamala Harris, thank you. I think for myself is, I have this amazing platform, so I think the biggest thing would be just encourage people to register to vote.
In this emergency that we're in, I think that it behooves artists to come out and speak for Kamala against Donald Trump, because he is an existential threat to the country.
Oh, really?
What do you say to that?
I don't get too deep into
Yeah.
politics. I didn't get a chance to watch the debate last night. I obviously have been watching like everybody else. I
was in
think
bed with
voting
five
is
ladies.
an individual choice. And I think that you're right. You have to look at the reality of the country that we are and the country that we want to be.
Guarantee you he has spent time with Donald Trump and enjoyed his company before he was a politician.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You can tell by that. He said, what our country's become.
Yeah.
What it's going to be. Well,
it's full of
become
people
is what
like
Kamala's
you.
in charge of.
Yeah.
What it's going to be is, yeah.
Yes, right. Well, I guess that bait didn't work. Sorry, Usher. If someone is quiet, that means they're very likely not a dyed-in-the-wool leftist, because you are actually encouraged in the industry.
No, it's kind of obvious. Usher, too, probably has a lot more in common with Trump than Kamala.
Yeah.
Yeah, they both like bling.
Yes, and
Well, the problem is
women
that
and music.
Going after somebody like Usher or somebody else, like they have enough money where they can tell you to go screw yourself, or they can do something like that and basically go, I'm going to go down this road here and give you this answer. Patrick Mahomes, the same thing. Like, he can just be like, no, I kind of stay out of that stuff. Somebody up and coming, you can't. What she just said is, this is such a big threat. I think artists have to come out and say this.
Yeah.
For Kamala Harris, it's like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah.
There's a large divide. You think that half of the American population is wrong?
Also, not to mention, when did the media decide that, artists should be the mouthpiece of mainstream talking
Right,
points?
because they've lived a normal life.
I mean, that's just, it's like art. It's like artists. The idea was art was rebellion. That's where rebellion went to exist. And now you have these people out there. I bet you Joy Behar fancies herself an artist, as a comedian, where she, has like 19 bits about how her husband has long toenails or whatever the hell. And
she was a comedian?
oh yeah, yeah, she was a stand-up
man,
comic.
I feel like a bad comic now because I didn't know who she was.
Yeah,
that
she
makes you a
goes-
good comic.
She would do well back in the day. She'd be like, my ex-husband never used to wash his feet. And people are like, well, yeah, my ex-husband never washed his feet. It's relatable. So, hey, people out there, are you an artist? Do you paint? Do you draw? Do you sing? Do you want to make a career out of it? Did you decide to go into the arts to be a mouthpiece for mainstream propaganda outlets? I don't know.
Also, being good at dancing doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
I mean, your opinion, yeah, I'm sure, everyone has entitled opinion.
you should have just moonwalked out of there. You crazy bitch. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we love you for, man.
Yeah, that's what you want it for. The man can dance. All right.
Ooh.
So let me offer this to you really quickly before I know we have Taylor on the show here in just a moment on the ground in Springfield, Ohio. But something break?
It's
Okay.
nothing, dude. It's nothing.
So loud.
What a Montel.
It sounded like a snap. And I get it. It's not lost on me. I'm a white guy. Okay. Young women out there, let's offer you some solutions. Okay. You want to set yourself up for the best shot at happiness, at a life that when you look back in all your years, you say, yeah, I lived a pretty good full life. All right. Make sure you have a strong social circle, meaning real people, not social media. Expand your social circle. Hey, maybe it's a Bible study. Maybe it's a spin class. I don't know. Have a strong social circle of friends. Isolation leads to depression, leads to all kinds of mental health issues. I would say that pursue a meaningful relationship if you ever want to be married or ever even think that you may at some point want to be married or have children. You got to start doing that in your 20s. You can't be doing it in your 30s. Because if you end up being a 34-year-old childless cat lady, guess what? Statistically, that doesn't end well for you. And at the end of your life, you're going to have a lot of regrets. Not everybody, there are exceptions to the rule. But if we are broad strokes going to give advice, strong social circle, stability, find a good man, and yeah, probably have children, ideally before you're in your 30s. And not everyone lives it. I get it. You're going to have a bunch of people saying, no, I just want to be really clear. Broad strokes, I would follow that course as opposed to what it is that both Taylor Swift and the Democratic Party are espousing. They want you to vote for them. They want you to vote for them. After the vote, they don't care what happens to you. Just look at what's happening in Springfield, Ohio. They're mocking the citizens who have to deal with the consequences. So that's the advice to you, young women. And of course, Mug Club, you've supported investigative journalism. Sometimes that's what you get. And then sometimes at light speed, you get this.
After the debate, I just couldn't wait.
We did it.
They told me what to say. Played in every way. I want Euro level rapes. Unrecognizable states. At least I vote that way. They told me what to say. I want Trump losing, Haitians barbecuing, Garfield with some cumin, right outside saying this cat's cooking up real nice. Cause I'm Taylor and I play. For the Democrats who take. I'll pretend it was a stage. My mask is off, I'll take it off. Got all riggers trying to rig. Trump's turned out into big. Did you think I'd only sing? My mask is off, I'll take it off. No kids to raise and feed, but my cat's LGBT. Nothing else means much to me, except for killing babies. Got an army full of drones. Don't track where my jet goes. And I'm voting for the who the is Joe? Immigrants are cruising, driving like they're boozing. But let them eat a goose and say it's all fine when it's pointed out by the right. Cause I'm Taylor and I play. For the Democrats who take. I'll pretend it was a stage. My mask is off, I'll take it off. Got all riggers trying to rig. Trump's turned out into big. Did you think I'd only sing? My mask is off, I'll take it off. I 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 take it off.
Hey, just think. While Kamala was covering for Joe Biden's mental decline, which is completely clear to the world, they were also setting up this endorsement with me. Her ex-man helped her ice his girlfriend. She's like, give me that job after I can suck your snake. And to the fella over there with the golden blonde hair, you're making me feel nervous. Will you make
America great again? Cause I'm Taylor and I play. For the Democrats who take. I'll pretend it was a stage. My mask is off, I'll take it off. Got all riggers trying to rig. Trump's turned out into big. Did you think I'd only sing? My mask is off, I'll take it off. I 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 take it off.
Hey, if you're still watching, this is the part where I increase interactions and tell you to comment below. What do you think? Right, because that works. But if you don't, you can just click one of these videos playing in a similar vein, or it may autoplay. Ooh, that's fun.